Episode number 3, Double R. Reeves, thank you for being here. We got Reeves right in time. He's headed to the Bahamas on his boat.
You're making this sound a whole lot bigger than it is, Robert. I promise it's not that big of a deal, but this is the second time that we've done this trip. And so we've got 5 families going with us. We have so much stinking fun.
That's awesome.
We take our boats, and honestly, my boat is not big enough to do this trip, other than the fact that we've got 4 other boats going with us. And so we trailer the boats down to West Palm Beach, Florida. We shoot about 60 miles across the Gulf Stream to West End, Bahamas, check into customs, and then we have about another 100 miles. It's not the middle of the Atlantic, but it's kind of like the middle of the Atlantic. But what's so freaking cool about it is you're literally in 12 feet of water. You can see straight down to the bottom, fish, coral, all kinds of things, and we boat over to Green Turtle Key. And we spend the week just hanging out with each other. These families are families that we've raised our kids together. We've done this trip twice. We are so excited. We're heading out tomorrow.
So you're heading out tomorrow. And then when do you launch on Friday?
We leave Thursday. We launch Saturday.
Okay.
And then we come back the following Saturday.
So what if it's stormy?
We die.
Oh, God. Okay. Izzy, get ready.
But you know what? That's okay. Because you and I have been talking about another business opportunity. And if I die, this is your chance to see this thing.
Just say you really went for it.
I went
for it.
So
that business is burial at sea?
I think there's an opportunity. We've just got to test it out a little bit. I don't think you can do it off the coast of South Carolina because to get to the deep water, it's too long. But you can do it in Florida.
Yeah.
So, funerals cost too much money. And I think, hey, one day, maybe we'll do a whole podcast segment about burial at sea as a business
We might
opportunity.
want some investors.
We definitely need a boat dealer.
Yeah. Okay. We'll keep everyone posted on that one.
There you go.
So we had the 2 Lukes.
That's right. Luke Miller and Luke LeMaster.
Those guys were so impressive. We got to sit down, talk with them while they're here for the summer. They grew up in Florence. These guys are going places. And we just wanted to talk about growing up here, kind of what their career path's already looking like, and is it possible to get them to come back?
I was thinking about it this way, Robert. The best baseball teams allow the other lower Major League Baseball teams to develop the talent, and then they go out and buy the talent. So you think of the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they just buy what the other organizations have developed along the years. And I feel like that happens a lot with Florence.
Yeah.
We have some incredible people that we develop, but they don't often come back here. They end up in Charlotte. They end up in Dallas. They end up in Washington. We've got to keep those guys here. And so Luke LeMaster, he's going into his sophomore year at Duke, and Luke Miller going into his junior year at Hillsdale College, both just incredibly sharp young men.
Yeah.
We have a good conversation with them about what it would take to get them back to Florence to build businesses and start their careers here.
Super impressive guys. Brother Izzy, let's roll the interview. I'm excited about our guest. As we've been saying, this podcast is about Florence, the good, what we need to do better, progressing this place. And one thing that we talk a lot about is our friends whose kids are graduating high school and going to college. Yeah. Are they coming back? Because we want them to come back.
Businesses talk all the time about retaining top talent.
Yeah.
Well, cities need to retain top talent. And as we've been talking about this, I said, Robert, I know 2 guys who are top talent from Florence. And they may not like me saying it that way,
but they are.
But we've got Luke Miller and Luke LeMaster with us. Luke Miller, high school graduate from 2024. 23.
Yes, sir.
I knew I'd get that wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. See, he's already smarter than me. He knows when he graduated.
What high school?
I was homeschooled.
Homeschooled.
Yes, sir.
I played baseball
at South Florence. And now I'm at Hillsdale College.
At Hillsdale playing baseball.
Yes, sir.
And what's your major at Hillsdale?
I'm majoring in political economics, and then I'm minoring in journalism and Latin.
And so your dad's an attorney in town, and I had a closing with him yesterday, and he was telling me that you are a national Latin scholar. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's some testing that you do in high school, and depending on how you place relative to the other Latin students around the country in high school. And I mean, there's not that many now, apart from the classical circles and the homeschool circles. But
Yeah.
I did give the Latin valedictory speech at the CC national graduation. So I've been doing Latin for a long time. It's been something that I've really enjoyed and I've taken it to college.
I'll say that's top talent coming from
top talent.
Flo.
You know, just a phenomenal guy. I've known Luke for, I think, probably most of your life, and just
and an
super
amazing
cool
baseball
guy.
player too.
Amazing guy all the way around. And then we've got Luke Lemaster. You did graduate in 2024, West Florence valedictorian. You're at Duke University. You're just finished your freshman year. What is your major?
I'm biomedical engineering pre-med. So that's like engineering expecting graduate school for med school. Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So where do you see that taking you? You know, what career paths are there with that?
So there's a couple different options. I was hoping that I'd have like a good perspective on the tools that doctors use, whether that be imaging, surgical tools, implants, prosthetics.
Okay.
That when I do end up going into the medical field, I might encounter some stuff that'd be like, hey, this is inefficient, or this particular product that they're having us use is annoying. And then go off and say, hey, I'm going to develop a solution to that and then start a company. Wow. So I think that would be it's like a good way to bridge the gap between the people making the tools and the people using them.
Okay. So I want to come back to that with both of you guys. But before we get to maybe the future, let's go back to the past.
Yeah.
You both grew up here in Florence. Your families, both your parents, your dads run small businesses here in town. What was life like growing up? What did you enjoy about being a kid in Florence? What were some of the things you wish may have been different? Whoever wants to answer that first, go ahead.
Well, I enjoyed the size of Florence. Florence was never like living in a big city, but there was always things to do. It was never the super small town where you couldn't find anything to do except go out in the woods, which I had my share of fun doing that as well. But
Yeah.
Florence is a big enough city where there's life, there's stuff going on, but you're not drowned out like you would be in a big city like Atlanta or New York City or somewhere like that. And so I enjoyed that part of growing up in Florence. Being homeschooled, I got to be part of a great homeschool community that we have here in Florence. It's pretty huge relative to a lot of other cities around the state and around the country. We have a very big, thriving homeschool community that I enjoyed being a part of. And there were a lot of other things that I enjoyed about Florence. I also enjoyed getting to go see other parts of the country as well. But yeah, Florence was a great place to grow up.
What about for you, Luke? Did you like it? Did you not like it? It's okay to say if you didn't like it.
No, I mean, I don't think I would be who I am today without Florence. And more or less like without the people that have been here. Because I had both sets of grandparents here growing up. They lived here forever. I was born here. So it's just, like generationally, we've been in Florence. And that mattered to me because I think that my grandparents built a lot into who I am.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
Them being here was that was an important part of growing up here. And, mine's like a little bit different. I only had like 2 or 3 years of private school when I was younger. But most of my education was public, and I never stayed at a school until West Florence for more than 2 years. So I bounced around a lot. And I actually think it was a good thing because all the different schools in Florence, they do different things better than others. Like they all have their strengths and weaknesses. And so I think I was able to get like, I'd be at Briggs 1 year, I'd be at Carver for that year, I'd be at Moore, and then I was at Williams. So I got to experience the best of like each one of the schools, like what they did best. And then I think I dodged a lot of the things that are not as good. Yeah. Which is probably where I am academically now is because of that.
Yeah.
Because of how good that experience was. So, I think all in all, Florence was, it was the right place.
So you both look back fondly on your time in Florence, the community you had. There's a fondness there. And so now, Luke, you've been away in Michigan at Hillsdale College for 2 years. and Luke, you've been in Durham at Duke for a year now, both. So what were those years like? What were some, maybe even the adjustments going to college, just as well as just what was it like living away from Florence the last couple of years?
I've adjusted a little bit more so now. It was really tough, particularly the first year, being so far away. Like I can't drive home. It's really hard to get home to see people, to see my family, to see everybody that I care about down here. I've started to make more of an adjustment this year, and I'm really enjoying it up there. I really do enjoy it. There's some brutally cold months, but I really do enjoy it. But at the end of the day, like you can ask anybody, any of my friends up there, any of my family down here, I'm always looking forward to when I can come back down here, because it is home, and it's warm, and it's beautiful outside, this beautiful country, and I get to see my friends and family. And so I'm really enjoying and making the most of my time at college. But the adjustment was difficult. And I think part of that was being homeschooled, being around my parents all the time. And that was great for me in the sense that I'm very close with my parents and close with my family and friends from that community. But I also didn't go out on my own quite as much as I would have maybe if I had gone to a public school. And so it was definitely an adjustment going up so far away from everybody that I have known for my entire life. But I'm making that adjustment, and I'm really starting to enjoy all of the things that come with living in a different place.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah. And Luke, what was your freshman year like? At Duke?
I think Duke does a really great job of introducing new people, like new freshmen, to each other. I mean, they do these orientation weeks where you get paired off in these groups. I did this thing called Project Waves, where we spent half a week camping at Falls Lake, and then the other half was at the Duke Marine Science Lab in Beaufort. So I met a lot of people through that. And then all of the freshmen are isolated on East Campus. So every person I met was new and new to everybody else too. You know, there's like at least one person from all of the 50 states. There's a bunch of international people. So it's very rare you run into somebody from your hometown, if at all. So everybody was new, which helped. So I met a good group of friends, and we hung out that entire year. I got involved in a church nearby and with RUF, like the local campus ministry. Yeah, it was a really great year. Cool. I think I made a lot of good connections. My classes were difficult for sure, but
I'm sure they were good. Easy. Come on.
I mean, B's for the first time ever. I know that sound like it's to me it hurt a little bit, but it was the good kind of part.
I would have been ecstatic.
My muscle would have like put a billboard up if I got a B.
Yeah. I mean, I was challenged, which was good.
That's right. That's real good. You're getting pushed a little bit finally.
The kind of hard that makes you grow.
Did you make it to a basketball game?
I did not. I wasn't one of the ones who tented for the UNC game.
How hard is it to get a ticket? Is it hard?
You have to take an exam about like all the players.
No way.
And like you have to know.
You gotta be kidding.
Like one of the questions,
go to school to go to a freaking basketball.
One of the questions was like, when does this person's aunt's CPR certification expire? Like it's stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. You didn't do that at Carolina?
No.
You have to like personally know them to get in.
That is crazy.
And that's just to get a tenting spot.
Right.
And then you have to wait for the 6 weeks to get the ticket.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. There are some games that you just wait in line all day to go in for.
Okay.
Are
you going to do that next year? Yeah.
It's just hard to have the time to tent.
Oh, yeah.
When you're doing an engineering major. Like it's.
Yeah.
That's true.
You mean school took priority?
It did take priority over basketball.
These guys are different than us.
Yeah.
So, Robert, this whole podcast is about, we want to help move Florence forward. We brought our families back. We have a small business here.
Yeah.
And we obviously know the Lukes here that are with us, Luke, and thought it would be cool to interview them. So as you think forward, and you've got 2-3 years of undergrad, who knows what with grad school and on, but do you see, having expressed fond memories of your childhood here, is there any possibility of you returning to Florence for your careers?
You mean?
Go ahead.
I think there's a chance, but I'd have to because my uncle was a family medicine doctor here for a long time, and then he recently moved off to Fort Mill. Well, not recently, but like 5 years ago. And that was, for me, his reasoning was just like, I can't deal with the hospital administration here or some of this other stuff that was going on at McLeod. And I don't know how much that's changed. Like, I don't know how much our system has changed. I was hoping that I'm spending some time in the summer at Carolina this summer.
Yeah.
So that might give me some more information about whether or not I'd be willing to say.
You mean at MUSC?
Oh, yeah, MUSC.
Yeah.
Here in town?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, let's give a shout out to Dr. Bradley Russell at MUSC, giving you that opportunity. Appreciate him doing that. He's a good buddy of ours.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
That was smart on their part to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So anyway, you're spending some time this summer at MUSC.
Yeah, in the emergency department and getting some experience, like what it would be like, what it looks like for doctors to work there.
So we got a chance. We got a chance here.
I'm not ruling it out. That's I would love to. Yeah. Also,
if the right opportunity was there.
If the right opportunity was there, I'd say no.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Luke, what is your career path, and how do you see Florence fitting into that at all?
So I actually had the thought walking to my last day of classes this semester of like, man, 2 years of college are gone. They just like flew by.
Yeah.
And then I had the thought next of, man, I only got 7 more years of this. It was like 2 years have flown by, but it's like there's still 7 more years to go. Mine's getting delayed a little bit because I had a medical red shirt this season for baseball with my knee surgery. Yeah. But I'm going to get a master's degree in public policy, and then I'm going to go to law school. I want to work in public policy analysis. After my time in law, I want to work in corporate law for a time. And I want to go into the political field eventually. And that's probably going to mean an early career in DC or Columbia. And that would probably be where a lot of my career is. But I would like to come back to Florence toward the end of that. If I were to run for office or to work as a policy analyst later on in my career, I could absolutely do that from Florence. And I would love to, because my family's here. My family's going to stay here. And I prioritize that. I would love to be around my family as much as I possibly can. I would love for my kids to be around their grandparents as much as possible, to be around the family as much as possible. So that's something that I would like to do, but my career path is probably going to take me, at least early on in my career, towards either Columbia, DC, maybe Charleston, something like that.
Let's say y'all had a really cool farm an hour from Columbia. You could kind of live at the farm, shoot in Columbia.
It would be a little bit of a commute.
Yeah,
a little bit of a commute, but yes.
So we might be 2 for 2. This is not how I saw this going.
Here's the vision I just got.
Yeah.
We have the next governor of the state and the next Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking maybe the new
throw that one out there.
The new president of McLeod.
There you go.
Like, I'm pretty confident if McLeod could go ahead and get you on retainer, they do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so we got to let them know.
So yeah, we do have to let them know. I think we can call some people.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming and talking. It's refreshing to me to talk to you guys and knowing that you grew up here. We grew up here, and we both say we weren't planning on coming back, but I'm glad we did. You see the people you grew up with at breakfast or something, and you kind of, as you get older, you start realizing the value of that. So we got to stay in touch. And anytime y'all are back in town and want to pop on the pod, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're super proud of you guys, the work that you're doing, the career goals you have. And I think it's really neat to know that you're both from Florence, raised here, and both of you are going to do incredible things. We look forward to following your careers, and good luck to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
I have a question for you two, just to follow up, drop in. If you, coming out of all the law school, all the engineering school, all the things, no city names, what are the ingredients to an ideal spot you'd want to come back to? if you could pick, okay, I would want my city to have this, and have this available to my family. What are the ingredients to go into the perfect spot?
Definitely good church options, which I think Florence has for sure. Like I haven't found anything like it, even just being in all these other towns that I've been around in Durham. I haven't seen one within like miles.
Wow, that's cool.
So that stuck out to me as like, whoa, Florence is really a hotbed for good spiritual, like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
She's-
Yeah,
And then I think, I mean, a good education system matters too. I think that's the big one for why a lot of people don't come back, is because they want to, when they have kids, they don't feel like the education system here is as good. Also, I'll say whenever I tell people I'm from Florence, like at Duke, to these people who are from all these different places who have never heard of Florence, the first thing that comes up, there's like, oh, Italy?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then I'd be like, no, the one with the Buc-ee's on I-95.
And they get
And
more
you get more excited about Buc-ee's. Yeah, that's true. You'd be surprised by how many people know Florence by Buc-ee's.
Yes.
Which I would hope that one day people would know Florence by like this cool, factories, plants, this corporation here, like that. I don't know. Things that would be like, oh, Florence is known for being a hotbed for all of these medical developments, or this really good public policy, things like that. You would hope that it wouldn't just be Buc-ee's that we're known for.
That's a good point.
What are you looking for, Luke, in just an ideal city?
So for what I want to do with my career, the ideal city has to have connections for me. So like I have to have connections within the city, people I can work with to do the kind of big things that I would like to do. Ideally, it's a place where I could be warm and be outside for a lot of the time of the year, because I enjoy those kind of things as well. But to touch on the church's point, something that I don't know if Florence does, but I know that Hillsdale does this very, very well, is they have programs in every single church in Hillsdale. And there's probably, Hillsdale's a very small town, and there's probably 15, 20 churches in this very small town. And every single one of them has a program to bring in college students. And something that I've heard a lot from my friends who are at Francis Marion is there's just not very much to do around Francis Marion. And that's a great way to get people involved in the community, get college students involved in the community and make them feel welcome, because college students don't quite fit in with the high school circles and don't quite fit in with the adult circles yet. And so a great place to get college students plugged in and get them involved in the community is these kind of church programs that like almost foster a college student and bring them and say, hey, you can come, we'll wash your clothes.
Yeah.
You can come over for dinner on Sunday nights. Just various things like that not only can help out college students, but can give them a home away from home if they're not in their hometown, and can make them feel more involved in the community. That's something that Hillsdale does really well, and something that I would like to have in a town where I live.
That's a great point.
That is really interesting, because I know my wife, Rebecca, she went to Clemson and she had that at Clemson. But I feel like, Robert, we almost forget Francis Marion exists.
We do, yeah.
And there's students, both local students, as well as students who are coming to Francis Marion from other places. And it makes sense that we, as a city, should do better to kind of graft in that university to what's happening in Florence. I appreciate
We've got to work on that.
Yeah.
We got to have these two guys back.
Well,
in Florence, on the pod in Florence.
All right.
Bonuses will be waiting for us. Just let us know. Just let us know. Thank you guys.
Thank y'all very much.
So I've been thinking a lot about our Gary Finkley episode and just kind of what we talked about. And then I've also had several people reach out and kind of say, man, that made me think of this. One was my brother. My brother said, Robert, I've been thinking about, okay, how do you get more things to do downtown? You know, that was one of the things we were talking about. And he was like, well, what about, some concerts or some different activities like that? And I was thinking about the amphitheater, the little amphitheater they've got set up at the
Performing arts. Yeah.
And why aren't we having more cool little concerts out there?
I think that's a great question. The thing, I've had a few people talk to me about that since the episode as well. And Rebecca reminded me of a spot we saw in Homewood, Alabama when we were visiting her brother and sister. It was the coolest outdoor eatery area with like big screen TVs and like a little play area for the kids, AstroTurf, and just a place for people to come in and congregate. And, you know, I think Naturally Outdoors and the guys there are doing a great job with that, and they've got that vision. But the amphitheater downtown, bringing more people in, there's some opportunity, and we can be a part of that.
Maybe we can, yes. So my vision for it is, okay, let's get Susto, Justin Osborne. He grew up here.
Yeah.
I love his music. He's gotten pretty big. And there's a lot of other guys and girls that grew up here that have kind of got music careers.
Yeah.
Let's do a little concert series where we're say, guys, come back. Let's do it at the amphitheater. Cool little venue. Get a few food trucks. Go downtown. Have dinner. Go to the show. And let's get what Gary said needs to happen going that way.
Well, I think you're talking about exactly why we're doing this podcast. What can we do to help move Florence forward, to make it better? That is a tangible, awesome opportunity. So
let's work on it.
Let's go execute it.
Let's do it. That little amphitheater thing is cool.
I mean, what if, I don't know that we can be responsible for the thing, but is there somebody who would take it that we could help encourage, maybe help support, you know, just a summer concert series that every Tuesday or Thursday in Florence for 8 to 12 weeks, we've got a different talent coming, and it just is going to bring more people in to downtown.
Why can't Double R be like the title sponsor and make it happen?
Yeah. Maybe right here, right now, we're figuring out the next thing to do, Robert.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Let's we'll call Gary Finkley, see what he has to say about it. Favorite deal section?
Let's talk about
most recent favorite deal.
Most recent one. I think you've got one and I've got one. So what's yours?
Well, Weaver Street's the one I'd love to talk about. That was such a cool opportunity to list 88 acres that's just been manicured perfectly. These people took a raw piece of land and created an amazing place.
One of very few, if not the most unique properties in all of Florence and Darlington County, probably. Yeah. We're talking, like you said, 88 acres, a beautiful pond, beautiful custom-built home, horse stables. Everything about it was just immaculate. And you and I had the chance to work on that together.
Yeah, that was fun.
We got to really get to know the sellers of the property, the ones who have built the property, lived there for 25 years. I think that's one of the cool things I love about real estate is getting to really build that relationship with the clients who we interact with.
I feel like we'll be lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And the times we got to spend with them on the back porch of their home, talking about strategy and what to do. And that was awesome. I loved every second of it.
And then to see it come together, to find a local buyer who had been looking for this type of property for years and really planning for this type of opportunity for years, and be able to connect the buyer and the seller together and navigate the complexities of a deal. Every real estate deal, as you know, whether it's a $150,000 property or a $2 million property, has challenges.
Yeah.
But we were able to navigate this together in a way that really, I think, brought tremendous satisfaction to both the seller and to the buyer.
Well, when you came in the office this week and said, Robert, I went to a party at the place this weekend for the buyer. They had their high school graduation party for his daughter. That had to just be full circle cool.
Well, and to have, I don't know how many people were at this graduation party, but I'm sure 75 to 100 folks, and they were just enjoying the property, the way the owners, the previous owners, wanted the property to be enjoyed. So it just brought such satisfaction to know not only would the original owners be so happy to see the property being used this way. But obviously the folks who just bought it and how they're already utilizing the property, it was just a really sweet moment.
That's awesome. What's really cool too is Izzy was a part of that and came and we filmed. And Izzy, do you think we could show in this podcast maybe a little hit of footage for the people that hadn't seen it?
Yep, dropping some right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, because that's the thing with, we brought Izzy in early on to this project because it really is a project, whether it's a small priced house or a big property. We engage in this project, and to bring Izzy on, to bring the video element to it, the marketing piece to it, it's the total package. So great job to you, Izzy.
Yes.
Well done.
Make me blush.
Yes. I do that to a lot of people. Hey, we've got another one coming.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about it.
So over 100 acres, beautiful lake, awesome home, perfectly situated on the lake. This is in Little Rock, South Carolina, right outside of Dillon.
About 40 minutes
Yeah,
from Florence,
yeah.
about 5 minutes off of 95.
Yeah. It is I hadn't spent much time in Little Rock, South Carolina. That area is super nice.
If you're looking to buy land, this place might be the next, huge jump. Now, you might have to wait 15 years or so for the land to appreciate, but incredible land out there.
Yeah.
And we're excited to bring this property to market.
That's going to be fun. That one's going to be a lot of fun to do the marketing and just see the type people that are interested in that kind of product.
When we walked through the house with the owner, again, they built this home almost the same time frame as the Weaver Street property,
that's true.
built in 1998. We kept talking about how this is just like a retreat center. The way the home is set up, huge bedrooms, all of them overlooking this 8-acre pond with a nice deck. Like you said, over 100 acres, there's mature trees throughout the property. This is going to be a special property.
I could see this being a retreat center, possibly.
Yeah.
It'll either be a kind of private residence or some type of retreat. So, I don't know. It'll be cool.
So it'll be coming probably July to market. So
Izzy, we got to make magic happen on this one. All right.
You'll be a part of it. Well, that's a wrap for episode 3. We really appreciate you checking us out. If you like what we're doing, we would really love if you would like and subscribe to the various platforms in which you're watching the episodes on. What you think, Robert?
I hope you make it back from the Bahamas. Have fun.
I'll do my best.